Okay, so we're going to start the product and quotient rules. So just by doing f of x times g of x, if f of x is x cubed and g of x is x to the fourth, it is not as simple as just doing f times g and then the derivative of that. Because if you consider this, f times g is x to the seventh, and then that derivative is 7x cubed. But if you do it separately, the derivative of x cubed is 3x squared, and the derivative of x to the fourth is 4x cubed, and that derivative is 12x to the fifth. So, not the same. Same thing with the quotient. It's not the same. So we have little formulas to use. Okay, so the product rule is the derivative of the first function times the second in original form, and then the first function times the derivative of the second. Now that order doesn't necessarily matter because you're adding, so you could do the derivative of the second times the first plus the derivative of the first times the second. That would be fine as well. But typically we just do the derivative of the first function times the second function plus the first function times the derivative of the second function. All right, so we're going to practice this. Okay. So on A. All right, so it's helpful to figure out what your f of x and g of x are. So this v squared, that's what I would say my f of x is. That's one of the functions. And then this 2 square root of v plus 1, that's what I would call my g of x. So remember your product rule. F prime of x, g of x, plus f of x, g prime of x. Okay. So we have f prime of x. So we have, and I'm going to write it out with this d dv notation. So we're doing derivative of f of x times g of x so no change to that, plus f of x times derivative of g of x. Okay. So I calculate this derivative here, that's 2v times 2 square root v plus 1. All right, calculating this derivative. So that's 2 over 2 square root of v, and then the derivative of 1 is 0. Okay, so those 2's cancel out. Okay, so we can clean this up just a little bit. So 2v times 2 square root of v would be 4. And then this is b to the first and b to the 1/2. So if I add those, that's 3 halves. Okay, here I have v squared over square root of v. So 4v, 3 over 2, plus 2v, plus 2 minus 1/2 is 1.5, so 3 halves. Okay, and then I have like terms. So 5v to the 3 halves plus 2v. Okay, let's look at b. Okay, so I would call our f of x this square root, or x squared, and then our g of x would be e to the x. Okay, so when I do my derivative, it's going to be d dx. So I'm doing d dx of x squared times g of x plus f of x times the derivative of e to the x. Okay, so the derivative of x squared would be 2x and e to the x plus x squared, and then the derivative of e to the x is just e to the x. All right, so a lot of times we like to separate like our exponential term from our polynomial. So a lot of times you will see that we factor out an e to the x, and you could factor out an x e to the x if you wanted, but this just helps because once we start solving or setting our derivative equal to 0, then we want this to factor in a way that's going to make that easier. So actually I'm going to do that. I'm going to just take out the e to the x so I can separate the exponential part of the e to the x part from my polynomial. I would not count it wrong if you took out an x as well. Okay, so that's just the basics beginning of product rule. So I'm going to do a separate video for the basics of quotient rule, and then we will be doing a second lesson on this as well.